This is the SwishWire podcast.
What's good, y'all? It's SwishWire. Today we have Justin
What's up?
and Mitchell.
What's going on?
Today we have a very special guest from one of the craziest college teams that I don't think anyone's expected, RJ Glasper.
Hey, how you doing?
We're just going to get right into this. Mitchell?
All right. First of all, thank you for so much coming on, man. You guys have been amazing. You've been killing it. And I got to say, I'm wildly impressed so far. One of the things I want to start off with, though, is everybody has these moments throughout the high school, throughout the early years where there was this specific game or moment or play where you knew you belonged. So for you, was there anything specific? Was there a point in time where you were just yeah, I can battle with the top dogs out here. Yeah, I belong as one of the best.
Yes, I feel like growing up in a small city, I'm from Fort City, Arkansas. I was one of the best there and around surrounding areas. But people would always say it's different when you play against go to Chicago or New York or stuff like that. And so as I got older, probably around seventh grade, I started traveling, playing AAU and playing against some of these top guys. And I was holding my own. And that's when I really feel all right, I can play with anybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the smaller city, I come from a really backwater town like that. And it's just when you go up against guys who've constantly had the lights on them, and then you realize that you can whoop their ass too. Maybe you can dance with them too. That's the kind of stuff that sort of just lights that in you. So you feel like AAU days is when that stuff started is, you could battle against these guys. So you belong out here, obviously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And throughout your entire playing career, I mean, looking at your skill and how good of a player you are, you've obviously played with some really great players. So outside of your current teammates, who's the best player you've ever played with?
I don't know. I feel like I played with a lot of good guys. But I had to just say my little brother. My little brother. Landon Glasper. I feel like he the only guy that a go at me and got my mentality and my work ethic and stuff like that. That I know, I see him work. So
You still beat him every time, right?
Yeah, I still beat him though.
It runs in the blood. How old is he?
He's 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So who's the best player you've ever played against?
It's tough too. I don't know.
Oh, so your little brother?
It's a lot of, I think probably my little brother.
So both. He's the best player you've ever played with and against. I like that.
Let me ask you this then. What would you say he plays most NBA wise?
Who, my little brother?
Yeah.
I say he more I think he played probably a LaMelo ball, but he's just not 6'8" right now, but he's about probably 6'1" though, 6'2", and I feel like he played kind of like a LaMelo, he can score, he kind of flashy, and he can get his team involved. He got a knack for getting steals and stuff that.
Raising the guys around. I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A swaggy play style and, getting that energy,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of dudes take pieces from NBA guys, take moves or whatever. But is there a set player that you mold yourself after, or do you take pieces from a bunch of guys' games?
Yeah, it's no player I mold myself after. I pretty much take pieces from all the greats. I like watching Dame Lillard, Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, all the great point guards. I pretty much like to watch and see how they go about doing stuff and how they prep for games and stuff like that.
True. I mean, that's draw inspiration from everywhere kind of thing. It's better to just, take pieces that you like and you can do than to just try to be I want to be like Book, or I want to be like Wow, that kind of thing. I feel that.
Yeah, I feel like everybody should try to be you can take pieces from the greats, but you got to be your own unique player.
Mm-hmm. And, looking at all those players, the guys that you watch, I mean, as you said, you pick pieces out of multiple guys' games. And it's clear, I mean, you're an all-around threat on the court. So what would you say is the most underrated aspect of your game? Because you do everything. You do a lot of things well. So what would you say is the most underrated part?
The most underrated part of my game. I'll probably just say like my leadership, probably. Because like I feel like a lot of people on the outside looking in, they can see like people that know basketball, they see like, oh yeah, he can score, he can pass, he can defend. But like only the real people know, like, man, he's out there like leading a team. Like some people think it's just running up and down the court, shooting the ball, and passing, but it's much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
And I
sometimes
feel like
a lot
that's something that the common fan don't really recognize.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like a lot of people see the stat line and they're just like, yeah, whatever. Like he put it up, but the dudes in the locker room when you're there like rallying everybody, that's different. That's that doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but that matters. Like that's the kind of stuff that people don't understand. Like you said, the casual fan's not going to be like, oh, look at him. He prepped his team up. He was there. He's not afraid to go at you and ump you up. But that's super important for a guy to do.
And especially you guys. I mean, like you guys are the Cinderella team. You are that, and your path to where you are now. I mean, like with your guys on the team right now, like I'm sure that plays a big part into your culture and everything like that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like it's a lot of hard workers on this team. It's a lot of guys that I feel like was overlooked and stuff like that. And I feel like now they're just getting a chance to show the world what we can do.
It's actually funny you bring up leadership because my next question for you is in your senior year of high school, you averaged 27, 9, and 6. That's like a crazy stat line. But you also led your team to the 5A state championship. So what would you say is your current role as a leader?
I say I'm probably like, well, when I was playing, it was more like I was vocal, but I also like I want to lead by example, because it's hard. You can't ask guys to do something that you're not out there doing. But now, like from the sideline, I just feel like I just try to be one of the most vocal guys, try to build guys up and, like keep guys confident, and, just help guys wherever I can.
Mm-hmm. And in your game, I mean, it shows on the court. You do it vocally and you do it on the court. And after a dominant high school senior season, you were one of the top-ranked PGs in all of Arkansas. And you committed to the University of Arkansas and decided to redshirt after being injured in the preseason. So what was it like being forced to watch from the sidelines all year? Obviously, I mean, you were working as hard as you can on your injured shoulder. But what else were you working on during that time to get better? Because now you're a better player than ever.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, you talking about pre-injury or after the injury?
I mean, like during your injury, like what were you doing like to get your mind right? And like what were you doing to become the player you are now?
I feel like I was fortunate to be around some pretty good players and a good program. And I was just, other than just working on my arm, just doing everything the therapist and the trainer told me to do, I just like watch certain guys and just study how they prep for games or their mentality going into games, and just pretty much just I try to stay in shape. Like I would get in the gym and shoot with my left hand, to get my left hand better and stuff like that. Around that time, Isaiah Thomas, he was with the Celtics. He was having a good year. He was a small guy in the NBA having a good year, so I would watch him and try to see how he get things done. It just really study the game and just really pay attention, like, because I feel like you can always be getting better.
Because one thing I learned about you from doing research is a bunch of your coaches have high praise for your work ethic. Like for one, I believe it was Matt Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot to say about, especially during your injury times, how you never gave up and you were always working to be the best you can. And that kind of shows with your team because y'all are underdogs and all you have to do to get there is work.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was just instilled in me at a young age. My dad always instilled like hard work, and I would watch like Michael Jordan and Kobe, and you can hear the stories about these guys, like how hard they work. And I just feel like in order to be great, you have to work at it, and that was instilled in me. So, and I feel like a lot of players here, they get in the gym, and now they just see the hard work paying off.
Yeah,
100%. That's sorry. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, after your redshirt year at Arkansas, you transferred to Arkansas Tech and went on to have an amazing career. You were the leading scorer all 3 years, averaging 19 and 5. So what was something you took from Arkansas Tech to Oral Roberts?
Control what you control. Like Coach Klein used to always just tell me like just control what you can control. And I feel like when you're young and stuff, you want things to go a certain way. So when it don't go your way, you know, you kind of like it kind of like can frustrate you or some things like that. He just told me like the things that you can control, like you control those things, and because that's the only thing that you like basically like have control over. You can control other like things that you can't, you know.
I mean,
100% on that one. I mean, like you gotta just trust in what leads you to that kind of thing. So I mean, along with Roberts, which you are now, you were recruited to a bunch of other colleges, like let alone New Mexico, Missouri State, Liberty. Like, what made you pick Roberts? Was it a culture thing? Was it the fact that like your role here would be bigger, or like what was about Roberts that made you pick here?
Basically, I just feel like they had the same goals for me that I had for myself. Like they recruited me the hardest, you know, first of all. And then I just like the culture, and I like how they say they like to develop players. Like, your dream is to be a professional player. We're going to do everything in our power to help you be that. And I feel like we look eye to eye on that, and that really basically came down to my decision. And another thing, it was close to home, too, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge part. Mm-hmm. And obviously, as we talked about, and you just mentioned, I mean, the culture there, I mean, the way they develop players, I mean, those are all huge things and something any player wants to be a part of. And going into March Madness, a lot of people had you guys losing in the round of 64, getting out the first game. But you guys, you're in the Sweet 16 now, and you won against the number 2 seeded Ohio State and the number 7 seeded Florida. So what was this run like? How does it feel to already be part of history and knowing you could compete with the NCAA's top teams?
It's a blessing. It's a blessing, honestly. But I feel like everybody in our locker room felt like we can beat them. Like, we didn't feel like the underdog. Like, we feel like we played like a top 4 schedule in the country. And we played a lot of guys close early in the season. And we knew we were a much like different team now and better team now. So every game that we go into, we think we can win. We think we can compete with anybody.
Mm-hmm. Going against those top teams and like getting better throughout the season, just getting more reps in and having that confidence. I mean, you guys are in the Sweet 16 now, and you guys, I mean, on the track right now, you guys are going to go farther. So, I mean, Oral Roberts, you guys have it all right now, and like it's hard to stop.
Yeah, we just taking it one day at a time, you know, trying to focus on the next opponent and, you know, hopefully make it to the Elite Eight.
So Asmus and O'Banner have been red hot in this tourney. Do you see what they're doing and where you're like, man, I saw that coming, or is this like out of nowhere for them?
No, I pretty much saw it coming. Like, they have, I feel like this the time like that everybody in the world get to see. But like, it's just something that we see every day. You know, we see them work every day. We see them the same plays that they're making now. We see them make the same plays and the same shots every day. So, you know, it's a like privilege to get to watch them do what they do and to be the like nation's leading duo and how it just looks so easy. But it's no surprise to us.
True. I mean, we're not super deep, but we're 2 rounds into the tournament. What's the prep been like for you guys? Do you guys watch a lot of I mean, obviously you got to scout people, but like, is it a lot of weight room stuff? Is it a lot of training stuff? Is it a lot of mental stuff? Like, are you preparing when you're facing UMK or Western Illinois? Like, is it the same old, or are you guys, revving up like this is the game 7 of the finals kind of stuff?
No, it's pretty much like the same routine, just a lot of film and just really focusing on us. You know, we scout them, and for Arkansas, we already played them this year, so we pretty much know what we're going into. But they're a much different team too now. You know, they're a much different team. But the main thing is we just focus on ourselves and just keep doing what we've been doing all season, and keep prepping for games how we've been prepping.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you guys have prepared well, obviously. I mean, you're in the Sweet 16 and you beat Ohio State, you beat Florida. But this upcoming game, I mean, it has to mean a little more to you because you began as a walk-on for Arkansas with a mere chance to earn a scholarship. And now you're both in the Sweet 16 with a chance to get to the Elite Eight. So what does it mean to you to not only just be here, but to be competing against a school that didn't think you were a scholarship type player, and you've proven them wrong so far, obviously. So what does it mean? Like, are you going to have an extra fire under your belt?
Well, it's a much different team now than when I was there. Much different coaching staff and all. But every game in this tournament seemed like it just gets sweeter and sweeter, and and that's basically it. Like it would mean a little more, but I think even if we win that game, it would mean even more for us to make it to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. You just want to win. I mean, like, it's not a matter of who you're playing. You said that
Just
before.
want to win every game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go as far as we can.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us to our next segment, which is the training questions, where we ask you how you like polish your game, and it helps viewers polish their own games. Mitchell, get us started.
True. So everybody's, coaches have told them lots of stuff about their game. Fans have told them. Social media is crazy nowadays with picking apart guys. But is there a piece of advice that, like, somebody sat down and told you that, you just, boom, this is perfect, and you wish more people could hear it?
No, I don't think it's just one thing, Just basically the advice that I got is, always stay true to yourself, always work hard to perfect your craft, and be disciplined. That's probably the best advice. Just be disciplined and stay focused. You have a goal, stay on that goal, and you have to make sacrifices sometimes. And I think the best advice is just be disciplined, take care of your body, and stay in the gym. And be a student of the game, because basketball more than just skill. It's a lot of like intelligence that go into it.
Yeah, more of a mental stuff too. Like you got to keep track of that stuff. You got to. It's less about you got the skills to put into it, but I mean, if you don't have like the knack for it, that's a whole different thing. I feel that.
Yeah.
And control what you can control.
Control what you can control, man, and love the game. Love, like. I feel like the players that love the game, they last the longest.
They'll do anything. They'll do anything to get to the top.
Yeah.
That's why coming into the NBA season, I wasn't high on Anthony Edwards. He said he was like just doing it because he was better at it than football. So I question his passion, but his work ethic is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. His work ethic crazy. And he seemed like when he playing, he having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah. So you've got a knack for finding guys to score, as you've shown your entire career that you're an amazing shot creator, whether it's for yourself or other people. How did you develop that playmaking? Were you ever like turnover prone, or did this all just come naturally to you?
I think just wanting to be more of a playmaker, because I feel like I was bred at first when I first started to be a scorer, and then but I was always taught to be an all-around player. And I know, at my size, I would have to not only be able to create for myself, but to create for other people. So just taking a chance, and just the more basketball I play and just wanting to get better at that aspect, the more film I watch on players like Steve Nash or Chris Paul or something like that. And it's like
one of the things
the more
with,
I watch that, the better I got.
I feel that.
Yeah.
One of the things about smaller guys, like I'm kind of short for that too, but there's something that feels good about making that extra hustle pass, that one last little tip that it's better than having a 40 bomb kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it just feels better making your team elevated, because they'll repay you on a fast break. They'll repay you on later. So do you get that sense of happiness when you elevate a guy like that?
Yes. I love to make plays for other people. It's fun actually.
Mm-hmm. And getting your guys involved, I mean, like you said, that's a huge trait of your game. But I mean, yourself, you're a sharpshooter. I mean, you're nailing 35% of your threes for your entire college career, and you shoot about 90% on your free throws. But despite taking a ton of them, you take a lot of threes, you take a lot of free throws. So your volume's high, but you're still extremely efficient. So what does your shooting routine look like? How did you perfect this?
Just constantly just getting in the gym and just getting up reps, getting up game time shots, like game speed shots, and just constantly just working on it over and over. Just it's not a set routine that I do every day. It just always getting in the gym and making shots. Yeah. I try not to take more than a day off. If that, like my off day, I might come in and shoot free throws or something like that. But just staying in the gym, constantly shooting and getting up shots and being confident.
So the last thing that I want to get out of you here is that a lot of dudes, they have like a physical routine at the end of the day, to cool down. But is there anything that you do mentally? Like, do you listen to a specific type of music? Do you read? Do you have video games or something that you just get to unwind with?
It's a lot of different stuff. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. I might play the game, or I like to play 2K, or I might watch a comedy or something like that, or I like to do yoga. I like to meditate. Sometimes I like to read. Just depends on how I'm feeling that day.
True. Who do you play when you use 2K? That's a real question.
Well, usually we just random, but now it's like I'm hoping I'm getting the Nets or something like that.
Yeah,
The Nets are so overpowered.
But I pretty much play with everybody.
You like playing with the Wizards?
I like playing with the Wizards. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I like playing with the Wizards too.
He's for some reason a Wizards fan. He doesn't even live there. He lives in New York, but he's a Wizards fan. I don't know why. But one thing I love asking guys who come up on here and mention 2K is, did 2K have a role in your development at all?
Some dude's taking moves from 2K. Is that?
I mean, J.R. Swish said that himself. He got his fadeaway from 2K.
I don't know. I don't know if any of that. Like, I don't remember what year it was. They used to like rip guys like they would make them turn and get it, like reach from behind and grab the ball. I probably could say I took that from them or something like that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of guys say like they develop a lot of their defensive instincts from 2K. Like, that's crazy.
I never thought about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because you see it from like a different camera view, but like all of the plays are really realistic. So you have that feel in your head, but obviously you see it from a different angle in real life. So people are like, oh, wait, that looks familiar. If I do this, I get the steal.
Yeah. And I think it's the other way around, probably. Like, me playing in a real game, it helps me be a better player on 2K.
Makes you better. Okay, I feel that.
Just natural born baller. Okay, so today is trade deadline. So I wanted to quickly ask about your thoughts on the three biggest trades of the day. Starting off, we have Nikola Vucevic was traded to the Chicago Bulls for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, and 2 first-round picks. What are your thoughts?
I don't really much know about that trade. I haven't really seen it yet, but the Vucevic and traded for Wendell Carter and 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
I think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
He's gonna be great for them, Vucevic.
You said what?
Vucevic he's gonna be great. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what his stats are exactly, but he's going off.
Yeah.
So our next one is Aaron Gordon was traded to the Nuggets for Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and I believe 1 first-round pick.
I don't feel like either one of those losing that trade. I feel like they both get, because Aaron Gordon, I like Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, he can light it up. But RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, that's a good player too. Like, they both teams getting a good player.
I like Gordon. Like, he's not just a dunker. Like, he's gonna be great. Like, he's been great. So I can't wait to see what it's like.
Exactly. Both Gordon and Levine have tried to make a name for themselves as more than just dunkers, and they've really shown out on that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then our last trade, he's been amazing. He's actually on Mitchell's favorite team, the Raptors. Norman Powell was traded to the Trailblazers for Gary Trent and Rodney Hood.
That's a good trade. Because I like Powell. Powell can light it.
Hurt me to see him go, bro.
Rodney can let it up, and you said who else?
Gary Trent. In CJ McCollum's absence, he's averaging 18 points as a starter.
He's a two-way player too.
Oh yeah.
You're a two-way player, but I feel like them three good trades were neither team really I feel like everybody gained something. They got what they wanted out of it.
It hurts me to see Norm go, man. He's been wild, but I mean, this is he's blowing up. Might as well let him go compete somewhere where he's not sitting on a garbage team like us right now.
Trent's 22 too, so I mean, watch out for that.
Trent has a lot of time. Him and Fred VanVleet is such an amazing duo. I love that.
Right. And a Lowry trade coming soon, hopefully.
You trying to get Lowry out of there?
That's what everyone's saying. It's supposed to happen. There's an hour 30 left of it.
Yeah, I heard that.
And the Sixers are officially out of the running. So the only two teams right now are the Lakers and the Miami Heat going forward.
I hope the Lakers get them. That's my team.
Nah, I do not. Okay, I'm all for the Nets stacking up in power, but let's not let LeBron have much power. He's gonna win if he gets Kyle Lowry.
I just want to see Kalo go somewhere where he can compete, man. It just feels bad seeing him waste his like time on us. It's just it hurts, bro. It hurts.
Well, that wraps it up. You have a game coming up. We wish y'all the best of luck, and hopefully y'all can continue to be one of the most historic teams in college history.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, man. It was an honor.